Hello, everybody. Amanda Davis here, and this is going to be another scope for the Perry girls this time, and it's for our PG Honor Initiative for June, which lasts this week. It's going to end on Saturday. But today's topic is what male in your life, past or present, are you grateful for? And I said what man or men because not knowing what the other topics are going to be, I'm grateful for a few. But if you want to check us out and you are a woman on Periscope, you can go to perrygirls.com. Dudes, go to perrydudes.com. And they are another group that's for the guys on Periscope. Perry Girls is, of course, for the girls. But Perry Girls is honoring the men in our life this week, as well as it's Dads and Grads edition is what it is, leading up to Father's Day. But anyway, not knowing what the other topics are going to be about. I'm going to start with I'm grateful for my grandfather, who unfortunately did pass away in 2008. But both of my grandparents, and I've already spoken about my grandma, and plus with this one being the men, but my grandfather on my dad's side was a big part of our childhood growing up. And so he, along with my grandma, as I spoke about in one of my scopes earlier in the month of May, he, along with my grandma, watched us every day. Well, not every day, but a good amount of the summer. My parents, they took turns taking us to that set of grandparents, and then my grandma on on my mom's side. But this is the grandfather on my dad's side. So he was a really huge part of my childhood, and basically a second dad to me and my brother and my cousins to a point, but us especially because like I said, he and my grandma watched us every day throughout the summer. Well, a good amount of every day. It was like probably 3 out of the 5 days of the week that they would watch us. And then they also watched us after school too. It was just, they were a huge part of our lives growing up, and I'm super grateful to them, and him, since we're talking about the men. So he's one. And then the other one, one of the other ones, is my father, and he too has always been a big part of my life. And even though I feel close to my dad, but there's certain things that I'll tell my mom that I won't tell my dad. And I guess we're all kind of that way if you have both parents. But my father too, I'm very grateful to have him still in my life. We've had some health scares with him in the past several years, and luckily he got through them okay and is currently doing okay. But it's just a situation that still scares you and really makes you realize how grateful you are for someone being in your life. And, he's somebody that I'm definitely grateful for because he is a good dad and he is a present dad. And I think that that's a super important thing. And before I cry, let me move on. And he maybe shouldn't be third on the list, but I guess since the other two were family, it's okay. My current boyfriend, because he and I have been together now for 2 years. It will be 3 years in December. But he is honestly the first guy that's really showed me like that not all guys are, well, not all guys, because the first guy that I've been in a relationship with that showed me that guys, are wholesome people. And I know that there's good guys out there, don't get me wrong. I just unfortunately hadn't stumbled upon any of them. And the ones that I was involved with before them, not that they were super bad guys, but they were just guys that weren't for me. And they will, in their own time, find their own people, and that's okay. Um, but he is just, I thought I knew what love was, but then I met him and I realized what love really is. And, I think we are definitely moving in the right direction, and we'll probably, spend a good amount of our life together. I'm not going to say the rest of our lives at this point, just because we're not engaged, we're not married, but I will say a good amount of our lives. And a lot has happened for me personally in the past, and since I've started dating him, a lot has happened, and he's been there. And I just think that that's super important, that I feel like I can trust him and I'm definitely grateful for him. I'm definitely grateful that he's in my life. And so yeah. And you guys hear me talk about him every once in a while. At some point, for real, I'm going to have to tell him he needs to come on Periscope. And I'll have him come on one of my Perry Girl scopes. I'll tell him why he's coming on. Maybe a Heart Tribe short scope or something. Because I want you guys to meet him. But anyway. And then I have some guy friends that I'm grateful for. And they were guys that I knew in high school, and we were good friends in high school. And then some of them we reconnected when I went to college because they happened to go to the same college that I transferred to. I started off at one, but then when I ended up transferring to the same college that they were at, we reconnected. We were friends again. And they and then there were a couple other friends that were friends with them that became my friends while we were at school. And while we don't always talk now, just having them with me through high school, having them with me through college, it was a big thing because they were guys that, even though they were guys, I knew I could go to them and talk to them about stuff. I knew that I could, sorry, the dog was doing something. I knew that I could go to them and talk to them about stuff. I knew they would tell me the truth about certain things. I knew that I could, it was wholesome friendships. And I just, even though, like I said, we might not be the closest of friends now, I'm always going to be grateful for those friendships at that time in my life. And those guys were definitely good guys that and they were some of the good guys, like I said, they were good guys that just, we weren't romantically involved, we were friends involved, and, they had their own relationships and stuff like that, and, we all kind of we were a group of friends that we sat around and we would talk about different things, and it was a co-ed group that could talk about different things and be honest about different things, and we could give the guys advice and they could give us advice, and it was just really nice to be able to have those kind of relationships with guys that were a friendship that you knew they weren't trying to do anything other than be your friend, and they cared for you as a friend. And it was nice to have them too, as far as like, if we were out late at night, I'd be like, okay, you gotta walk me back to my apartment now, stuff like that. So it was nice to have them as bodyguards, and and I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say that, and I really didn't mean for this scope to be that long, but like I said, not knowing what the other topics are going to be for the rest of the week, I just really wanted to make sure that I got that out there, that these men that I've had in my life, these friends that I've had, my current boyfriend, and then, of course, my family, and my brother, too. I don't want to forget my brother, because, along with my dad and my grandfather, like, he's been around for me and able to tell me things, and sometimes he's silly and sometimes he's annoying, but we're still siblings, we still care for each other, and it's still obvious through it all, he really just wants me to be happy, and he wants me to be making the right choices for myself. And if he sees me doing things or hanging out with people that he's not too sure about, and I'm kind of the same way with him, we just really want what's best for each other. And even though we might not always agree on things, because siblings, you're going to have little sibling squabbles and stuff like that. We still just, we still are close to a point. I might go weeks without seeing him. I might go months without seeing him. But when we do get together in the same room, it's not always a terrible situation. My brother and I, yes, we're close to a point. But now that we don't live together, and now that neither one of us live at home, we just don't always see each other as much as some people get to see their siblings. But anyway, I see that my scope is, well, actually, I think it's okay. I think the connection's okay. But I do want to go ahead and end this because, like I said, I did not mean for it to be so long. And I apologize. If you guys watch me, you know I don't usually do long scopes. But I just really wanted to get that out there. And I didn't want to forget my brother. But anyway, these men have all part in my life. And, I look forward to watching some of your scopes, too. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks again for joining. And thanks for watching the replay, since most of you are replay viewers again. But that's okay. Okay, bye.